Hello and welcome to another episode of Come Back Stronger, where we bring you stories of people who have overcome obstacles, injuries, and setbacks and have come back stronger. And today we are super excited to introduce you to Tracy Stallworth, who is a man who is a convicted felon, went through 5 years of prison, and has gone on after prison to get his doctorate in ministry, a doctorate in business administration, and this man has gone on to shake up the world. Kimmy, what do you think about Mr. Stallworth?
Oh, I think he's inspiring. I'm so excited that y'all will hear, he didn't stop at his initial aspiration to go be a barber, which is a great career. He went and got his GED, and then you'll hear about a counselor in his life that kept pushing him and pushing him, and then he went and got his AA. She kept pushing him. He got his bachelor's, and then now he's got his doctorates, and he has done great things at Faith in Florida.
So he got his doctorate in ministry. He's a man of faith, and he is now using what he learned and everything that he's went through to go out and push and advocate as a lobbyist for Faith in Florida, and to push for what he believes in, and how he's going to make this world a better place, which I think is another incredibly awesome and critical aspect of a comeback story. So it's good stuff. We're going to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, you're going to hear the first part of our interview with Tracy Stallworth. And you know what the insurance company offered him? $5,000. Really? He's completely blind, and they offer him $5,000. Ask him to sign a release.
To a lot of people, especially when they're hurting and when they're down and when they're vulnerable, $5,000 is a life-changing amount of money. And they're not looking at the value of what has been lost. They're not looking at what it would take to make that person whole, which is our job. That's our job. Their job isn't. Their job is to save the insurance company money. And they look at this person and they go, I bet $5,000 would get your full attention. And they come in and they dangle it with a settlement release, and then once you sign it, you're done. You can't come back to us and ask us to wave a magic wand and make that go away. That can't go away.
My client didn't accept the $5,000. We took him all the way to trial. We got a $5 million verdict. Welcome back to Come Back Stronger, where we're bringing you the interview of Dr. Tracy Stallworth, who is a convicted felon, did 5 years in prison, and came back to get his doctorate and has shaken up the world. Here's the first part of his interview right now.
Tracy Stallworth, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you for having me, ma'am.
You have such an exciting story, going from a convicted felon serving 5 years in prison to kind of working your way through your GED, and now essentially being a lobbyist for Faith in Florida.
Yes, that's correct.
And I can't wait to talk about that journey. I know some of it is hard, but some of it is really good too, and it's a very good story of hope. So tell me a little bit about what happened to lead up to you going to prison for 5 years.
I got convicted for conspiracy, aiding and abetting for selling crack cocaine. And I wound up doing 5 years in the federal penitentiary.
That's a long time.
There's a very long time. At a young age, I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where was that?
I went to Latuna, Texas.
Okay.
Then I went to El Reno, Oklahoma. Atlanta, USP, which is closed, I believe. And my last location was Estelle, South Carolina.
Okay.
So
but you were 18, and I think you picked up your charges in New Mexico, right?
That's correct.
Were you still in high school, or were you just out of high school?
I was out of high school. I got kicked out of high school.
Okay. Must have been a lot of drugs that you were trafficking.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's true.
So what was the worst part for you about being in prison?
Being confined, not being able to go home, not being able to talk to my mother. I had a son who I haven't held at all, and so I struggled.
Did you, when you came out of prison, did you get right back into drug dealing, or did you change your life after that point?
Actually, I changed my life. I didn't go back to New Mexico. New Mexico is a wonderful place, but I decided to move back with my parents.
Yeah.
My parents, they were stationed in Valdosta, Georgia, on an Air Force base called Moody Air Force Base.
Your dad or mom was in the military?
My stepfather was.
Yeah, okay. And why not go back to New Mexico?
I didn't have my family there. I didn't have that buffer to push me. And if I did go back to New Mexico, I'll probably be doing the same thing.
Where is your son?
My son is in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Do you have a relationship with him?
Yes, I do.
How old is he now?
He is 29.
Okay. Good relationship?
It's better than where it was before.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it will continue to get better, I'm sure.
Yes,
right?
yes. You know, as he begins to let go of a few things,
Yeah.
you know.
So you moved to Valdosta and moved back in with your parents, what, like 23, 24 years old?
I was 23, 24 years.
What'd you do then?
Oh, wow. Well, the good thing is I was surrounded with my family, my mom and my stepdad. My mom, she gave me a car. I was able to get me a job, get employment, and I started working from there. Mm-hmm. And I just started building my life, you know, getting my own place.
You have a really interesting story about your job applications, though, because you didn't get a high school degree, you didn't get a GED, but yet you started working in the Valdosta area, right?
Yes.
What were you doing on your job applications?
To be honest with you, I was lying because of the stigma.
Yeah.
Have you been convicted?
What'd you mark?
No.
And you never got called out on it?
No, I never did get called.
But that's
out.
how you got your jobs.
Yes, that's how I got my job. But it was always constantly in the back of my mind, if someone catches me, what am I going to do?
Am I going to get busted?
Yes.
Right.
And get fired for lying.
Where were you working?
I was working for Champion Rental. Mm-hmm. It was a rent-to-own business.
Okay, like a rent-to-own furniture
Like
style
Aaron's
business?
Furniture.
Okay, so how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for like 2.5 years. How I got my job and I didn't have to lie on my application this time was because when I got out of prison, I was ripped, I was chiseled, I was benching 385, and they were looking for a delivery person, and I picked up the washing machine by myself, and they said, you're hired on the spot. But I matriculated within a whole year. I became a store manager within
that's
a year
awesome.
because of the skills that I had employed when I was selling drugs on the street. You can't be afraid to communicate. And that was my best go-to when I started working for Rent-to-Own.
And then eventually you did get kind of tripped up a little bit and had to kind of remedy the situation by not marking no on the application anymore, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So tell me about that.
Well, I lost my job. And I was left to the point where I had no choice but to go get my GED. And by me getting my GED, I was able to mark that I did graduate. But when I started, if you don't mind, I can jump to TCC.
Yeah.
When I got hired at TCC, it was my instructor, Doug Davey, College Success. I told him my whole story. And he was like, wow, man, you kind of a little advanced than some of these students in here because you were at an institution where respect is tight. If you show some disrespect, you're really gonna get dealt with. And I had to grow up real quick. And he was the one that really walked me and allowed me to get my job after I had earned my master's. And so I didn't have to lie on my application because I had somebody that really believed in me. As a matter of fact, he saw me in Walmart and said, hey, are you looking for a job? Like, yes. He said, do you want to teach College Success? And I said, yes, I do.
So I want to go back a little bit, though,
Okay.
because I think we skipped before we got to TCC.
Yes.
Chronologically wise. So you left the job where you were the big, strong, heavy mover.
Yes.
And then you were kind of forced into a position to get your GED, right?
Yes.
But there was a woman that helped you along the way and kind of encouraged you back then.
Yes.
Who was that?
Her name is Miss Ebonsky. Gaston Tech Institute. It was vocation, but it's institute now. Once I got my barber certificate there and my GED at the same time, I kind of just paraded in her office, you know, because I just got my GED. And I'm like, I passed my GED. You see my marks? And she was like, so? And in my mind, I'm like, who is, yeah. I'm like, dang, but who is this older lady? Like, lady, look, I got my GED. I made it. She was like, so go get your AA. And she directed me. I didn't understand it until later when I was earning my undergrad. But the first one was a challenge. I was like, let me go get this AA real quick. And when I came back, I said, I got my AA. She said the same thing. So, go get your undergrad. And I was like, what is up with this lady? Why is she, how come she's not happy for me?
You're like, geez, lady, cut me some slack.
Yeah, please cut me some slack. And she's like, go get your undergrad. And as I was going to get my undergrad at Flagler College, I understood.
She really saw something in you, didn't
Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I want to talk about your college experience, what you've been doing since then, as soon as we get back from the commercial break.
Wonderful.
I love this story. And the big takeaway, the first big takeaway was, for me, this is a man that lost his job, and he says, because I lost my job, I had no other choice but to go get my GED. And so that's what, one of the things I want to bring out is every obstacle, every injury, every setback, if you lose your job, it means there is something better for you. There's a bigger opportunity around the way. And so that's what he did, is he saw this as an opportunity for him to go get his GED, and that wasn't the end. Then the rest of the story unfolds.
Yep.
What do you think?
Thank heavens he lost his job.
Yeah,
Thank
that's what I'm
heavens he
saying,
lost
is
his
that
job.
whenever a bad thing happens to me, now that I'm 52 and I've gone through some challenges, I realize, man, if something bad's happening, that means there's an opportunity. And so I immediately think, where's the opportunity? And that's exactly what happened for him. Thank God he lost his job, because if he hadn't, he wouldn't have been compelled to take that first step of getting the GED.
Yeah. I also loved how he said when he went and worked at that rent-to-own store that he used all of his street skills to help him work his way up. He goes, you can't be afraid to communicate.
Right.
And so it's not that he's living in the past and shame for what he went through and what put him in prison. He's taking all of his skills, everything he's learned, and using it to move forward in
He's
life.
taking the knowledge. That's what I always say, is that the challenges that we face in life teach us the lessons we need to learn to become the people we're supposed to become, so that we can contribute the most to making this world a better place. So this was the first step for him. And then the next step was somebody pushing him along.
Absolutely. That guidance counselor, I love
her.
So?
Well, because she saw that he was not living up to his potential, and she was going to challenge him. I really think this is so incredible, because so many of us suffer from a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-confidence, and sometimes it just takes somebody to push. Just a little nudge, a little push from somebody else that does believe in you, and then that's what happened with him. And that's what. So two takeaways from it is, first of all, believe in yourself, so somebody else doesn't have to push you. But if you see somebody that needs a little nudge, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say, I believe that you can do better than this, because that conversation that you have with that person might change their life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a good one. I'm really excited about it. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to hear the second part of the interview with Dr. Tracy Stallworth. They might show up at your door with a check for $500 to try to get you to sign on the bottom line. They will do anything they can to save the insurance company money, and if you hire a lawyer and come back stronger, then you are going to be dealing with them on a level playing field.
You know what I tell my clients is that Come Back Stronger is not just a slogan, it's a game plan. Yes. Because in order to get you fair compensation, we have to prove to the insurance company that you are doing everything you can to get better.
Yes.
And when you do everything you can to get better, if you're still hurting, then insurance company, you better pay. Right. Because we want to make you whole. So it's not just an idea of let's make you better after this horrible thing happened. It's a plan to make you better.
And I think in coming up with that plan, it makes us better lawyers too.
100%.
Because I think having that game plan helps us achieve more and be more successful for the client.
Welcome back to Come Back Stronger, where we are introducing you to Dr. Tracy Stallworth. This is the second part of the interview. He has overcome prison. By this time, he's 5 years in prison. He's overcome. He's gotten his GED. He's gotten his AA degree. That's right. And so now you're going to hear the second part of the story, and it gets even better.
All right, so when we left off before the commercial, you got your degree from Flagler College.
Yes.
What did you get your degree in?
Business administration.
Okay.
And I did that because my wife had opened up a hair salon.
You got married in all this?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
okay.
we got married and all this. So my wife has opened up a hair salon, and I didn't want anybody, we didn't want to hire any admin people. I could do it myself. Mm-hmm. And so I went to school to learn how to run a business efficiently. And
then what happened with you in TCC? That's when you started working there?
Yeah, so I was working in the hair salon, but when I got offered the job, I started working there as an adjunct instructor teaching college success. I love that.
gosh, it's just so like mind blowing. Here you are, 18 years old, you go to prison for 5 years. That's a lot of time
Yes.
for drug trafficking as an 18-year-old. And then you're working, like teaching kids how to be successful in college.
Definitely.
That's so impressive.
Definitely. Thank
It's
you.
really cool.
Yes, it is.
So what did that job entail?
Oh, first of all, college success, I get to teach you about navigating through college.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that it's easy, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I get to equip them with discipline, study skills, study habits.
Time management.
Time management,
Yeah.
or we would say priority management. The other thing would be financial literacy, because a lot of students that come to college, they don't have a clue about financial literacy.
Right.
And they spend all of their money.
Yeah.
We just talk about a lot of things.
They get their student loan check and it's gone.
I learned from experience.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did that one time.
But, there's more that entailed, study habits, identifying if you're introvert or extrovert. Just helping people become aware to identify themselves, who they are, so that they can navigate and be successful.
That's really interesting. How long did you stay in that position?
I taught 10 years.
And then where did you transition after that?
Academic advisor.
Okay. At TCC?
Yes, at TCC.
Okay. Are you still with TCC?
Unfortunately, no, I'm not at TCC. I'm with Faith in Florida now.
All right. And how did you get hooked up with Faith in Florida?
How I got hooked up with Faith in Florida, I received a phone call, and they asked me to do a Souls to the Polls for
What does that
voting.
mean?
Souls to the Polls is getting people to vote.
Oh, souls to the polls.
Yes,
Yeah.
and for those who have not registered to vote, my
Good.
job is to encourage them, hey, let me take you to the precinct, let me register you to vote so that you can cast your ballot for whoever you want to.
So important.
Definitely.
So important.
Definitely.
Especially for underserved and underprivileged communities.
Oh, definitely. We need to vote.
Yeah. So when did you start doing that?
About 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
About 2 years ago, and I love it. I get to express about democracy, the good fight. I get to talk about anti-immigration. I get to talk about anti-gun violence and voting rights,
Right.
and I love it.
Where do you do that?
In Quincy, Florida.
Uh-huh. Okay, so all around the communities up in Gadsden County,
Gaston
pretty
County,
much.
yes. Mhm.
And then you go to door, or is there where can people find you?
They can find me on social media. I do go door to door, or I do host a lot of listening sessions throughout the city, which 15 to 20 people, they always attend. And I just ask questions. I would ask the question, what keeps you up all night? And then we start from there.
That's really neat. So is it a nonprofit?
Yes, it is a nonprofit.
Okay. Who else is involved in it?
Oh, man. My ED is Pastor Rhonda Thomas. She's an impacted individual. She's so passionate because her nephew, he was murdered through gun violence.
Oh, God.
And so her drive, her passion is off the charts. And she really believes in what she stands for.
I tell you, I don't want to get political, but we've got to do something in this country. I mean, we cannot keep going with the gun violence in schools. That's been going on. We can't. Something has got to change. And like I said, I don't want to get political.
Yes.
But by God, it's got to be an important issue for the future.
It has to. Because I just have thoughts in my mind. I have children. Hopefully we can do something to bring a change.
What is in your future?
Well, I might rerun again for superintendent in 2024. I might run. A lot of people have been calling me just to bring some change. I have a 4-year-old daughter. I have a 2-year-old son, and I love kids.
Yeah.
And I want to give back, but I also want to re-engineer what I learned from a collegiate level to help them get to the place where they need to be at, because I want to see our kids in Gaston County become very successful.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. I sit here and I listen to you, and you're so impressive. And I keep reminding myself that you served a hard time. And, there's a lot of people that watch this show that don't feel like they have hope, or they feel, despair or whatever. What would you tell them about what you found inside of you to go from where you were to where you are now?
I would tell them to really look deep within themselves, do a lot of reading, talk to some of the older heads, we call old heads, older people that are incarcerated or around you, to really gain some wisdom. I had a few old heads that really pulled me to the side, and they used to call me Young Buck, and they said, Young Buck, you need to settle down, you need to do this, do this, do this. And because I grew up with respect because of my mother, I listened to them, and I made it out of prison safe, unscathed, unharmed. And I had this drive, this tenacity inside of me to say, you know what, I want to build myself. But I had to build it kind of by myself, but I did have a support network, but it was like walking blind a little bit, you know, until I gained momentum. And then when I started gaining momentum, I saw him with the canvas.
God, that's such a beautiful story. So your kids are little and they're in the Gadsden County kind of like preschool system.
Yes.
What would you like to see from an educational standpoint change in North Florida?
I would like to see in my particular area more certified teachers, more credentialed teachers. And I would like to see that happen immediately because we're losing a lot of our teachers that are in Gadsden County. We're just losing it.
Why is that?
Because of pay.
Oh, I
A lot of people are coming to Tallahassee and not being negative with those that are in a position right now. They're doing the best job that they can be, but we have to be able to collaborate and have some type of meetings together to really find out how can we change the narrative of our school system.
Right. Well, you've been such a wonderful guest. I've learned so much from you, and you're such an impressive man. It's just been wonderful meeting you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you very much for even taking the time to have me come on your show just to share my story with someone, and I hope that it empowers somebody and changes somebody.
I hope so, too, and I hope that people can see that you shouldn't be judged based on a mistake that you've made in the past. You should be judged on who you are now and what you're able to accomplish for yourself and the community in the future. You know, your past shouldn't be held against you. And sometimes people have bad things in their past, but that makes them who they are now.
True.
You know, and you're such a beautiful individual now, and you probably wouldn't be who you are now if you hadn't have made that mistake in the past.
Definitely. You know, I really say that those who have experienced incarceration, they have a different type of experience. And they could really add value to the community if people give them the opportunity to share what they learned.
Right, give them the chance.
Give them a chance.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I absolutely love that story. I love Tracy Stallworth, and I love what Carrie said at the end about how he wouldn't be the man he is today if he hadn't gone through the incarceration, what he had been through.
Absolutely.
And that's what allows him, that's what empowers him to give back to the community in such a strong and passionate and awesome way, because he can relate to the people that are going through struggles.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. That's one of the keys to a great comeback story.
I also love, we always talk about how it's important to surround yourself with the people that are going to help you get through your struggles or help, you know, push you on to a better and brighter future. And so 2 points there in his story. One, when he got out of prison, he didn't go back and hang out with his
New Mexico.
with his former friends.
Yeah.
He went to his family.
Yeah.
And he got the support of his family. And then also, I loved how he talked about looking for mentors. Even when he was in prison, he called them the old heads, but he listened to them and he took their advice, and he was able to get out of prison, you know, not hurt, on time. It's important.
Incredible point, and that is this: if you're not happy with your current circumstances, look around at the people that you're hanging around with, and if they're in the same kind of circumstances you're in the wrong group. You need to change groups, because that's what will hold you back. There's a Spanish saying, dime con quien tú andas y yo te diré quién tú eres, which basically means, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. Well, that's exactly what he understood at a young age, and that's why he said, I didn't go back to New Mexico. I went to hang out with my parents who were supportive and loving and could support me. And then he's also talking to not just, you don't want to just hang out with people that are in your same comfort zone. You want to reach out to mentors and people that have gone where you want to be. Those are the people you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
He ended up going to a counselor, Miss Ibansky, who sounds awesome.
Yes.
Right? And that was a critical person in his life that helped compel him and motivate him.
Absolutely. She said, okay, what are you going to do next?
Yeah, now what are you going to do?
So?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, but there's a lot more to talk about, so we'll talk about it when we come back. To me, Come Back Stronger is about starting the case with a plan and with a goal of not just to get back to where you were, but to actually move forward in your life. When an insurance company sees that you've been hurt and you've been in an accident and you've got medical bills, you've got pain and suffering, you have property damage to your vehicle, you are at a very low point in your life. And what an insurance company will do is they will try to take advantage of you. They might show up at your door with a check for $500 to try to get you to sign on the bottom line.
They'll show up at the hospital.
They'll show up at the hospital. They'll tell you not to get an attorney. They will do anything they can to save the insurance company money. And if you hire a lawyer and come back stronger, then you are going to be dealing with them on a level playing field. Welcome back to Come Back Stronger, where we just heard the interview of Dr. Tracy Stallworth, who had done 5 years in prison. He's a convicted felon, and he ended up getting his doctorate in ministry, a doctorate in business administration, and now he is a lobbyist. This guy has come back and changed the world. What a cool guy. So what was your biggest takeaway, Kimmy?
I love that he put in the hard work, right?
Yeah.
He didn't settle after he got his GED. He
Yeah.
said, all right, I'm going to keep going. Because yes, that guidance counselor pushed him, but he also took the push.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he kept
was
going.
receptive
He was
to the
receptive.
nudging of the universe.
And he worked hard,
Yes.
and look where he is now. What about you?
Well, one of the big things I think is important, and that is, he talked about how he gained some momentum. So what happened was he got his GED, and then Miss Ebonsky said, well, so what are you going to do now? And then he got his AA, and then she said, so why don't you get your bachelor's? And so she kept pushing him, but what happened is he gained momentum. And I remember in my own story that where I actually had to take remedial courses to get into college. And then once I got through those remedial courses, and then I did my first semester of actual college level courses. Now, I was a terrible student in high school, but when I did my first semester of college level courses, I got straight A's. And that gave me the momentum that I needed to push me forward, where I said, oh man, I can go to law school. I can be a lawyer. And then I ended up, the rest is history. So that was one of my big takeaways. The other one was, I love, and I think this is a critical for a comeback story, which is I love the idea that he talked about, I want to give back.
Yeah.
Every great comeback story is I've overcome an obstacle, and then I have learned lessons that I need to learn to give back to the community. So what a great story. We really enjoyed having you. Join us next week for another great comeback story. We look forward to seeing you there. I love nothing more than when a former client refers me a friend or a relative, because that shows me that they really appreciated what I was able to do for them.
And the thing that's most rewarding to me, and the thing that I'm proudest about with this firm, is that we truly do love our clients. I've got them in my phone, I follow them on social media, I celebrate when they have their grandbabies, or when they change jobs, or when they have their first baby. And that's real, and it's so rewarding from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint. And I think that realness and that relationship helps us make their cases so much better too.
100%.
They're not just another number to us, they're not just a cog in the wheel, they're not just a way for us to make a living. It's just a way for us to have better lives ourselves by getting to know so many clients and helping them.
I think that's why so many of our clients come back to us and send people that they love
That's true.
and know to us.
That's the best part.
It's the highest compliment you could get.